Wow, can you believe this? I'm back again already. Really? Already. Got a little thing somebody mentioned, a couple of people mentioned a couple of things to me and they worked into the same theme, and so I decided to make another little video blog of my opinion, because I have kind of powerful opinions, you know what I mean? And as you probably know, I'm a self-proclaimed anarchist. Right. And so people everywhere have these ideas of what an anarchist is. Okay? And, you know, everything from rioting to looting and just like being the Sid Vicious type where you catch things on fire and break things. But, and rules, right? There's rules and regulations and things that people challenge out of the whole anarchist theme. For example, banks and loans, car payments, and the big thing I want to touch on is rules at, like, say where you work at your job, right? That's where you work, is at your job. That's where I work anyway. I work at your job. So, for example, in the job that I work, I actually wear a uniform. Now that throws people for a loop because they say I can't actually be an anarchist because I should be fighting against the whole uniform thing and shit like that, right? And you also have people who will turn around and say things like, well, I shouldn't have to follow these rules. I shouldn't have to do what my employer says if I don't want to do it. You know, he's not the boss of me, which he is actually. I shouldn't have to wear this uniform. So, you know, you're looking at me like I'm an anarchist, so I probably, you know, constantly tweaking my uniform or not wearing it or something like that. No. Okay? Rules in the workplace are something that I agreed to. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, think of it as like a club. If you join a club, you have to follow those rules. You know what I mean? If you don't want to follow the rules, you don't got to be in the club. Now, nobody's making me work there or wear that uniform. If I had a serious issue with that, I could quit. But the thing is, if I agree, I mean, I sat down in there and wrote my signature on there, yeah, I agree to follow these rules. That's giving my word, man. Okay, it's just like if I lend you $5 and you say, hey, you know, can I borrow $5? I'll pay you back this Friday when I get paid. I fully expect to get paid back, you know what I mean? You can't just say, well, I'm an anarchist, so I don't got to pay him back, because that's stealing, man. You just ripped me off, okay? And that leads me into the next thing. I actually had this kid tell me, a friend of his had taken out this loan, and what do you know, he couldn't pay it back, and the bank was just badgering the hell out of him, of course, right? And he said, he shouldn't have to pay that money back. You know, the bank's got piles of money. And I was thinking about the whole if I lend you $5 thing. Now, yeah, I don't have piles of money, but the bank is in that for a business. That's their money that they gave him. And he made an agreement, okay? He gave him his word he's going to pay it back. Yeah, he has to pay it back. Now, if you are an anarchist and you have a problem with the Federal Reserve and banking system and things like that, the way that you do that is not by exploiting it, okay, which is purely capitalist, by the way. If you take that loan out and come up with a cool way to not pay it back, that's capitalist, not anarchist, okay? If that's how you feel, you don't believe in the banking system and stuff, then don't go in there and take that loan out. If you don't believe that you should have to wear a uniform and follow rules in a job, don't go get that job. That's how it works, okay? But if you go in and you get that loan or you get that job, then you give them your word that you're going to pay it back. That's an honor thing there. It has nothing to do with political affiliation at all. You go in and you sign those papers for a loan, yeah, you're bound to pay it back. And you might learn a lesson and say, I'm not doing this anymore. And that's fine. So really, what it works out to is, my credit is rotten, and the reason is because I don't have any credit cards, I don't get loans, I don't support the banking system any more than absolutely necessary in order to live and function within the society where I live, right? I, pay in cash and things like that. I have a debit card instead of carrying, my whole paycheck around in my wallet and things like that. So I make concessions, you know what I mean? I'm like, kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing. But as far as the uniform goes and the rules at work, I fully agreed to that, and I stick by it, you know what I mean? And I don't think that that really makes me any less an anarchist or any more of a pawn or a puppet, because the truth of the matter is, it's kind of nice to have that money because I'm able to like get this camera, for example, and afford this lovely garage for me to shoot this video in. And and I'm kind of up there in my years, the times of just roaming around and and living on the street and fending for yourself, they come to a close. But it doesn't mean that you got to change your entire outlook on life and things. You just got to realize that it's not all about arguing about everything. And that's my opinion on that. And I just know that I'm going to get some scathing remarks about that. But what are you going to do? You know what I mean? I don't care if people don't agree with me. And I don't care if you don't listen to me and go, he's right, I'm going to change my ways. You know what I mean? I'm throwing this out for you guys to process it as some info. And I'm going to go ahead and go because I'm starting to ramble like I tend to do. And so take it easy.
All around the cobbler's bench, the